So, this is just one of these, like, no-brainer things. I mean, you know that there's no gas shortage. You know that overnight India and China didn't just create 8 billion new cars that all need gas. This is completely 110% manipulated, and, we like sheep just, the end is nigh because the gas prices are going through the roof and there's no more gas, there's no more oil.
Right. Yeah, no, and it is so manipulatable of a thing, or at least that's the way they have it now. I mean, they could turn it on with like nothing. I mean, I guess it doesn't refine overnight by any means, but it is such a tool that you just got to be careful because nothing is what it seems. And it's amazing to me, like how you bring up the idea of artificial scarcity to somebody that's talking about gas prices, and they're like, blown away by the possibility of that.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to someone at work today, and I said, "Hey, here's what I see happening with this," because we're talking about why we're not taking our own oil. We know we have oil all over the place, and we're not touching it. I don't know. At some point, I very easily could see them nationalizing, because of emergency, nationalizing the oil, giving some huge contracts to somebody to basically get things rolling and develop it, and using eminent domain to take the property that has the fuel in it away from people. I mean, if you're in Alaska and you're sitting on a giant oil well, and there's no way you're going to sell that. But now with all this new eminent domain crap, I don't know. Again, speculation on my part, but I very much could see that happening. Oh, we're going to have to get gas cheap, we're going to have to do something, and then it becomes huge contracts for someone, and then they take without these companies, say Exxon or whoever, needing to actually buy the property with the oil under it, they can just eminent domain it, and everybody in the country will love that because it's going to be the promise of cheaper gas.
Right. Absolutely.
So, I don't know. Well, it's just a thought, but, I mean, it doesn't make sense otherwise, unless, of course, you want to scare the crap out of people and make them think that the country's going to have to come to a standstill, and there's not just, I don't know. I'm so tired of just hearing everyone blaming Bill Clinton for it, and it's like, well, we've had Bush for 7 years, and he's done nothing, and are you that big of a moron? And, everybody wants to blame somebody, more divide and conquer. The more angry we become, the more disgruntled and threatened we feel, the more we're going to always look to blame somebody. So, I mean, as a PSYOP, you could look at this just as ratcheting up American hatred toward the Middle East to the point where we're just totally cool with going in and bombing whoever we got to bomb and, fighting them to the death because we want our oil.
Right. I don't know. I just don't see how long that can go on. As far as that how stupid do they think we are? I mean, we went into Iraq. It was $27 a barrel. Now it's $127, $130 a barrel. I mean, obviously going into Iraq didn't help the oil thing. And, people have got to figure out that this is about something else. I mean, I can see where they're going. Yeah, so let's use the gas prices as a incentive to go into Iran. But, I mean, I can't think of any actual reason to go into Iran except for starting World War III. It doesn't seem like there's any tactical reason whatsoever. And so I think a lot of people are like, hey, what the hell are you doing? I mean, Mecca is in Iran. You just don't. It's just a different ballgame. Yeah,
well, you just follow the money, follow the contracts. You've got pacts, these security pacts between Iran and Russia and Venezuela and everybody else. And, we go into Iran. Everybody's, oh, yeah, we can do this, we can do that. We can't do this because if we do that, Russia is going to interfere. China, Russia, all these countries are locked in with these strategic security pacts with Iran. So when you hear these people screaming to bomb Iran, they're, they know more than they're telling you. They're the experts, the quote-unquote experts on TV or the radio. They know. They're calling for World War III. So, yeah, that's the strategic reason to go into Iran. And there are a multitude of reasons that we've been through and we could go through again 8,000 times and people probably still won't believe them. But there are reasons that these people want to bring about World War III. They want to bring about some kind of an Armageddon-like scenario. And basically they want to do that in hopes of bringing about their liege, their master.
I mean, yeah, that's the end game for sure. And I think so many people get lost in this whole idea that they want the New World Order, like they just really want a new government because they're unhappy with the last 2,000 years of government, or something like that, or 3,000, or however long they've been working on this, probably since Babylon, but or before even, but. I just, it is the end game that we need to think about, which is not eugenics, as Alex Jones would have you believe. I mean, I don't think he'd have you believe it, but it's so much bigger than it's the means to getting to the way. You use that facetiously, obviously, but yeah. So anyway, I don't know. But it definitely is really starting to actually be a noticeable thing. It's weird because you see it actually with your neighbor and your friend and your mom and your dad, and everybody's like feeling it. Like, hey, they lost their job. That's weird. It's the old thing they say. It's a recession when your neighbor's out of a job. It's a depression when you're out of a job.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well. Nothing we can do, just pray and trust God that, His will is going to be done, and that's all we can really do.
Yeah, I want to say something about that because it was just hitting me like the encouragement of the idea. I know in my situation, I'm like, man, I really need some money to start getting some food together and all this stuff, and I'm reminded of the place, I guess it's in 1 Timothy, where he was like, I could be wrong about this. Maybe it wasn't, but basically you just need food and raiment and be happy with that. And I was like thinking of the simplicity of that and the idea of actually requiring and needing God's provisions on a daily basis is really where joy would be for me. I understand that it would seem like an impossibility in the way that we have our lives structured, but in every case, God has this planned. He's got one of the once you get on board with just kind of going with His flow and stuff, it's going to be requiring Him to lead you to the different places that have done that stuff. So, and in the meantime, when we've got so much to do, just to go straight on and try to wake up our fellow man. So many people in the world, so many souls that are left, and when this all comes down to it, if this life is just some kind of hologram, then the only thing that's important to me is saving the souls of my fellow man. That's all I want to do. And then having that as a goal, and then going straight forward towards this evil and shining a light unafraid, then I think it's backed up by the Holy Spirit and the power of the Holy Spirit. And when it's not you, it's just the boldness that you have to go after it and go towards the evil with your light that really makes life worth living. And then it makes all the things pale in comparison. It's like, yeah, get me my coat and some food and let's do this, But I know we don't have much time left as far as the internet and all that stuff is. So everybody needs to download everything they can, get it on their computer so they can distribute it later if they need to.
Yeah, absolutely, and definitely burn it because there are absolutely ways that your hard drives can be wiped out very easily. So I would highly recommend that if you have, shows like this or other shows or whatever that books, whatever information, burn it onto CDs and put it somewhere away from your computer. And
yeah, it's a good idea.
But it's technology is beyond what we know, and how many different shows can you listen to where people have technical difficulties when they're about to do an interview or in the middle of the interview or whatnot, and just be on the safe side and know that if you're connected to the internet, if your cable box is connected to fiber optic cables and everything is interconnected and vulnerable. As long as you have something that's connected to this World Wide Web or a central point, whether it's a cell phone or whatever, someone can zap it. It can be turned off. It can be eradicated. So just back everything up.
Yeah, and those external hard drives they have now are getting so much bang for the buck now. You can get so many gigs of information on one of those things for a reasonable price, and that's only going to get better and better.
Yeah, I mean, even just like a little flash drive, you know, and I don't know if that's what you're talking about or not, but it's just one of those little memory stick things you plug in and just pull the plug, you know, pull it out of the computer and stick it in your pocket or in a backpack somewhere or whatever. But, you know, keep your information, keep as many copies of basically of Bibles around as you can, because at some point those are going to go away. You're not going to have a legal right to own, you know, like a standard King James Bible. You're going to have the New World Order edition of the Bible. So I would
right.
suggest you find a way to keep a very, very small copy, you know, keep it stored somewhere. And this may sound totally bizarre, but, you know, if you're buying computers now and, you know, you get one that has a built-in wireless internet card or whatever, maybe don't throw away your old computer. You know, if you have one that you can actually use that doesn't automatically connect to the internet, because at some point, everything's going to be Wi-Fi. You see cities going Wi-Fi now. You know, I know in California they had done it. I think Philly's is coming down because it didn't work or something. But you kind of want to be able to, you know, if you've got digital files, look at them without someone knowing necessarily that you're looking at them, because something like a Bible, like I said, you're not going to be allowed to have it. And if it's on your hard drive and your hard drive is connected to the internet, you can bet your butt that someone's constantly going to have something scanning somewhere to make sure that no one has the Bible on their hard drive. So, yeah, I don't want to rant anymore about that, but, you know, just things to think about.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people, you know, have collected a lot of stuff over the years, you know, and movies and radio shows and audio and all kinds of stuff. And if you're like me, I mean, I really like my audio archive. I really feel like I could really do some good sharing that, you know, but, you know, it's not going to be around forever and all that stuff, but I really do see a future where, I mean, not too distant future, where the internet isn't going to be anything like it is right now, and people are going to be trading this stuff, you know, around, and it'll be very highly esteemed, you know, like, wow, look at all the stuff you've got. And I know that I'm sure that it'll, all that needs to be out there will get out there, and I'm sure a lot of people listening to these shows are going to be a part of that. So it's just good to know, I guess. Let's see here. I don't know, anything else you were thinking about getting into? I guess we could take some calls here in a little bit if anybody wanted to call in.
While people hopefully dial up, I was looking the other day at I don't know, I was constantly searching certain terms in the news, and there's so many states rejecting Real ID. It really looks like it's going to be a failed thing shy of some kind of a cataclysmic event where they can really force it in. But I found it interesting that Superior Court upheld that ruling that paper money discriminates against the blind. And I don't know, it seems kind of late in the game for them to now go about printing a new paper currency, unless it's, I mean, everyone's looking for this Amero thing. Doesn't seem like we're ready for that yet. So I don't know, just something to watch for. You know, are they going to, is anyone going to start pushing the idea of just digitizing money for the sake of not discriminating against the blind?
Right.
Again,
was that the idea, their solution to that problem was Braille money, or were they talking about digitizing it?
Other countries have, you know, different widths or whatever. But I don't know, it just seems, it's just, I don't know. After this long, are we really going to now start changing the size? Maybe.
Yeah. That could be, I mean, but at the same time, that could be unconnected. That could be part of another lawsuit, you know, or who knows what, really. But it might be unrelated. I'm sure they're like, oh, great, you know, if they are indeed not a part of it. But that's a good point.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, I'll be shocked if someone can at least float the idea, you know, if it doesn't at least, you know,
oh, yeah. No kidding. I mean, that's what I was thinking when I saw that. I was like, oh, yeah, I wonder what's next. I mean, they might as well put it, like, attached to the article. But yeah, I'm sure that a lot of stuff, I mean, really, when they get ready for that, they can really sell that with the drugs thing, which, you know, they'll definitely have a way for people to still buy drugs, but they can say, and they can be quite right about it in the paper,